I wanted to talk a little bit about the power of gratitude. Gratitude is a very high vibration. If you can train yourself, so most of the things we do are habit. Most of the things, unfortunately, a lot of our lives we're living in kind of an unconscious mode. Basically, everything's a habit. Okay, you just get into a habit of thinking certain things. Certain reoccurring thoughts that that we're not consciously aware a lot of the time of what we do, and so it's beneficial to us to have a practice, a conscious practice of gratitude. Okay, so gratitude, like we said, it's a very high vibration. Why does that help us? Because things that are higher vibration are feelings of happiness, feelings of peace, health. Lower vibration emotions, let's just say, sadness, despair, disease, etc., etc. Okay? And I wanted to just share also like what I do and what happened through my journey and how I literally thank Hashem every day. So it's one thing to be grateful. I've heard recently some people that are grateful for this, grateful for that. But to whom are you grateful? To random universe? No, everything is directed by Hashem. You don't realize that unless you go back and look at everything in your life and try to connect the dots. There's been a guiding hand guiding you. And in Tehillim 23, I'm going to talk about this in a minute. There's two ways that Hashem guides us, with the rod and with the staff. Okay? Shiftecha u'mishantecha. So when he's guiding us with the staff, like a loving, like a shepherd guiding his sheep, it's sweetly. This is opposite. It's sweetly. And this is not so sweetly. So when you're guided in a sweet way and you see that where you've come from and how you got there and it was lucky, you say maybe that was lucky, that was good luck. It's not good luck, it's Hashem. It's Hashem guiding you. And if you're willing to follow, he'll guide you sweetly. But when you stray, when you get so far off your path that's not good for you, he'll guide you with the rod, meaning he'll give you a smack. And then some of those things too, when you're not in the moment, maybe you don't thank him for that, or you don't see the benefit to you. It looks like maybe a punishment. Why is God doing this to us? Later on, look back and contemplate all the things that have happened to you and see that it's been the guiding hand of Hashem trying to bring you to the realization, trying to bring you to the consciousness of Him in our world, in your life. And that's basically the whole purpose of life, according to King Solomon. That was the smartest man to ever live and will always be the smartest man to have ever lived. There will be no one smarter than King Solomon with his wisdom, with his divine wisdom, basically. He reached levels of wisdom that no one's going to reach. And he says that the whole purpose of life is to know your Creator, to know God, and to thank Him. All of creation sings out praise and thanks to Hashem, except for man a lot of the times. And that's what the book of Tehillim, Psalms, is. It's a book of basically of gratitude to Hashem. And when you say Tehillim, also it raises your vibrations because it puts you in a space of gratitude. Okay? And from that space, you're able to trust and have faith in Hashem. You need to build this practice, though. It's not something that a lot of us are just aware of or mindful of or do automatically. We need to make it a habit. Habits take time. Okay? So the very simple way that I came into the practice of thanking Hashem every day, because first of all, also, you're not going to get everything you want in life. Maybe it's not always good for you, by the way. But second of all, if you're not grateful for the things you have, you don't leave room for giving you more. Okay? So if you're never satisfied, if you're always, whatever, or if you're just unconsciously happy, or you thank yourself for all the hard work you've done, just know that that's not the way. That's not the way. Hashem is guiding everything. It's up to us to look into our lives and to see how. So a few years ago, I came upon this book, Say Thank You and See Miracles, okay, by Shalom Arush. Now, this book, basically, it's 190 true stories of the power of gratitude. I was very skeptical, okay? And my life was not going great at that point. I had a very severe illness, and I literally wanted to die. And I didn't know about God, and I didn't believe in God, and I didn't care about any of Judaism. And I wanted to die. And then as I started healing from that, I started becoming more open. It doesn't matter the things that happened, but somehow I had a practice of gratitude, but it was not a consistent. I hadn't made it a habit, and I wasn't grateful to anyone in particular. I was just grateful. I was just pretending to be grateful. Okay, it comes along this book, and what I learned from this book is just say thank you for all the good things and the bad things, because you don't know in the end what is the rod and what is the staff. So for example, you don't know how that illness you may have or have had or are continuing to have is the rod. It's trying to wake you up to recognize Hashem. Just say thank you, because later on, hopefully, when you look back and you contemplate all the things that have happened in your life, you'll realize how that was a good thing. Okay? So that book, I remember at that time I still wasn't feeling great, and I was alone, and I, had started keeping Shabbat, and I was doing it alone, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and it was lonely. And I had, up until that point, only had non-Jewish friends, and so I was kind of separating from them a little bit more because they wanted to get together on Shabbat, and I was no longer doing that. So it was a weird time, and I remember just saying thank you for all those things, but I was saying it sarcastically, and I was saying, thank you that I'm alone for every Shabbat. Thank you that I don't have a partner, a boyfriend, or a husband. I didn't believe in marriage back then, and I was saying, thank you that my body hurts, and thank you that all my joints hurt, and thank you that I am so out of shape now, and thank you that, and I was kind of sarcastically saying thank you. 2 years later, I'm living in Israel, and I'm celebrating Shabbat, and I'm learning, and I'm here, and I'm saying thank you for real. And I'm like, and then I realized, I sat down one day and I was like, wow, all those things that I said thank you for sarcastically, they're no longer the case. And now, when I look back at those times, I realize how much I grew and how much I'm able to now appreciate for real what I have because of what I didn't have. So sometimes the contrast will give you clarity, the contrast between sadness and happiness, the contrast between sickness and health. Sometimes those things, and you realize, okay? So I say every night before I go to bed, I say, thank you, Hashem, for this day. Whether it was good or bad, it's not objective, good or bad, it's subjective. So I don't know. And I just say, thank you for everything. And a lot of times I'll just sit and I'll really consider the fact that I'll be thankful for many, many things. And I just make it a practice. So now I list things specifically that happened either during the day and just overall in general. Thank you for my husband. Thank you for the fact that I'm a Jew. I didn't realize what a blessing that was, but now I do. Thank you for everything that has happened, my challenges and my tests that have made me a better person so that I can get closer to you. So for example, the neighborhood in which I live, we chose it because we wanted to be around observant people that kept Shabbat. It wasn't a very attractive looking place to me. I want a big garden, I want a nice house, I want all those things, and that's just not available in our budget, in Israel, in an Orthodox environment. So, we moved here, and I was grateful, but not to the level that I am now, because I went through a lot of things. I didn't like this, I didn't like that, this isn't convenient. This is like, I'm always like, these these apartments are so expensive and they have zero amenities. It's 2023. That was last year, obviously. And I'm like, yeah. But now I see all those things brought out certain aspects of my personality that I don't really understood that were there. I didn't really know that I needed to fix them. This is a wonderful book to get. Again, Rabbi Avigdor Miller. Such an amazing rabbi that I think is very relatable. I think he only died in 2001. I mean, and he had such vision and such clarity. He has a website, if you go on to like avigdormiller.com or rabbimiller.com or something like that, Google that. But anyway, this is his translation and commentary on Mesilat Yesharim, which was written by a huge Gadol Ador, the Ramchal, who basically taught us how to perfect your character, because that's also, I mean, what we're supposed to do in order to get closer to Hashem, to God, which is one of the goals of a Jew, is to get closer to God. So Mesilat Yesharim, and especially with Rabbi Miller's commentary, is such a beautiful and helpful guide to doing that. And sometimes, again, like I said, we realize that these challenges and tests, if you live in a vacuum, if you've never challenged yourself to live in a different area or to, I don't know, get out of your comfort zone, then you don't know what character defects you have, really, because you haven't been challenged on those things. So I wanted to, again, Tehillim is such a wonderful way to start a gratitude practice. So first of all, again, you can make a little list and of everything during the day. Keep a journal. I was never somebody that really worked for, but this way I just, at night before I go to bed, I always say, thank you Hashem, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for all the things that I say all the time, like thank you for our health, thank you for our income, thank you for the fact that we live in Eretz Israel, thank you for the protection you give us, thank you for my husband, thank you for, this wonderful, whatever, everything, and then specific things that happen to me during the day. Okay, that's a practice of gratitude. And also Tehillim, Psalms, is a practice of gratitude. And I want to, again, I was looking at specifically Tehillim 23. That's a very well-known one, where it helps you also build your security and your faith in Hashem, in God, that He's protecting you. That even if you walk through the shadow of death. So I'll just read it really quickly in English. A psalm by David. Hashem is my shepherd, I shall not lack. In lush meadows He lays me down, and beside tranquil waters He leads me. My soul He restores. He leads me on paths of righteousness for the sake of His name. Even though I walk in the valley overshadowed by death, I will not fear evil, for You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, they comfort me. You prepare before me a table in view of my tormentors. You anoint with oil my head. My cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Hashem for length of days. Okay, so the shiftecha mishantecha, that's the rod and your staff. They comfort me. How can your rod comfort me? Because later on you'll realize that He used the rod. It's like the carrot and the stick, okay? He wants the carrot, to use the carrot, to guide you this way and that way sweetly. But if not, if you're getting too far away, He has to use the rod. He has to get your attention. Okay? So through challenges and tests. So you can get closer to Hashem. Because that's your whole purpose in life, says King Solomon. Okay? There's also another Tehillim 27 that I think is very beautiful. I've said some things about it in other classes. I'll just say at the end of it, it says, Kaveh el Hashem, chazak v'yimaetz libecha v'kaveh el Hashem. Hashem, place your hope in Hashem, strengthen yourself, and He will instill courage in your heart, and place your hope in Hashem. Tikva, okay. I'm not very good at spelling in Hebrew, but tikva, okay, has in it the root kav, which means a line, okay, or or a rope, let's just say. That's tikva, is like a rope between you and Hashem. And that's hope. Tikva is hope. So put all your hope in Hashem. Place your hope in Hashem, and He will give you courage. He will instill courage in your heart. He will strengthen you. Just have hope. Having hopelessness, or being hopeless, like sadly, a lot of, especially Israelis, feel right now, after October 7th. But that's because they're hoping maybe in other things, like the IDF or something, the government or the world to wake up and love us. But all you have to have is hope in Hashem. And build your gratitude practice.